Huge changes are imminent for the New York Knicks, and this has massive implications on how the playoff lineups look like, as Tom Thibodeau revealed a lot to the media about what his plans are for the New York Knicks and the lineups that they're going to use against the Detroit Pistons and any further series as well. So a lot to talk about, guys. What's up? Welcome back to Knicks Digest. It's Chris here, and I'm going to jump right into things as always because we have a lot to discuss on the New York Knicks. Look, if you're part of that 63% that's not subscribed to Knicks Digest, this is the place to be for all New York Knicks videos. We're making videos of all kinds on this channel. Also, the TikToks / YouTube Shorts, wherever you want to go and get your short form content. I'm really going to start pumping those out. We're going to make a lot of them, and they're going to be a lot of fun and a bit different from videos as well. So, a lot to like about this channel, guys. So, subscribe. But all that being said, let's jump into the video. Look, Tom Thibodeau and the New York Knicks do have a lot of tough decisions to make for the playoffs. The bench, obviously, this season was not very good. It wasn't the worst bench in the NBA by any means, but it just wasn't good. It's top-heavy. You have Deuce McBride, who is a great sixth man for this team. You have Mitchell Robinson coming off the bench, who is a starting-level player on a championship team. Mitchell Robinson's super talented as well. And then you go from there and things are a bit shaky. Cameron Payne's been up and down this season, finishing shooting around 40% from the field and 36% from three on around 7 points per game with a couple assists there as well, around 3 assists. So there's been solid numbers there, but not necessarily great for a bench player. On top of that, there's Landry Shamet as well and a few other guys, mainly the rookies like Tyler Kolek, Kevin McCullough Jr., Pacome Dadier, you got PJ Tucker there, the veterans. There's a few other options, but where things stand right now, we know Tom Thibodeau. He's going to run an 8-man rotation, and it does become a question on who he's going to use. It feels fairly set in stone, but the order they're used in the starting lineups are not as set in stone as they might appear. Now, Thibodeau was asked about Tom Thibodeau. What's wrong with me? He was asked about Mitchell Robinson and Karl-Anthony Towns, and what he had to say on the matter was basically Ian Begley mentioned that Tibbs was asked about the Karl-Anthony Towns-Mitchell Robinson pairing, and he said that he likes what he's seen in limited minutes. Asked if he's seen enough to use it in the playoffs, Thibodeau said it's based somewhat on personnel and reiterated that he did like the pairing. Now, here's the thing, guys. I love this pairing. I think they should start against the Detroit Pistons. Hide Karl-Anthony Towns on Tobias Harris. Tobias Harris last year against the New York Knicks absolutely choked, and obviously that does not mean he's going to play poorly again. However, Harris has been enough of a non-factor that you can hide Karl-Anthony Towns on him. Meanwhile, have Mitchell Robinson guard Jalen Brunson, someone who he outsizes and plays excellent defense on. Duren's a tough rebounder, and we know Karl-Anthony Towns has the ability to bully him. So if you also add Mitchell Robinson out there, the Knicks will control the rebound game. They'll get a lot of second chance opportunities. They'll create mismatches on offense where Tobias Harris is going to have to guard Karl-Anthony Towns, or he's going to have to try to box out Mitchell Robinson. Neither of those is going to work super well. Now, obviously, having Ausar Thompson is going to be huge for the Pistons because he's a great rebounder at his size, and, I mean, those Thompson twins, that athleticism it's straight up insane. And Cade Cunningham's a good rebounder as well. So the team of the Detroit Pistons already has a bunch of different rebounders in that starting lineup. So the Knicks, to counteract that, also having Josh Hart, who's a phenomenal rebounder, throwing Josh Hart to the bench where you could still use him at the 6-minute mark when you take Mitchell Robinson out, gives the Knicks aggressive rebounding and good rim protection to start the game. And the Knicks right now, that would be great for them. Karl-Anthony Towns is a better perimeter defender than he is a rim protector. So you use what your strengths are, and at the same time, you add real rim protection to where those sirens out there, that's going to be an emergency for the Detroit Pistons because they would not be expecting that. You'd throw them right off their games, and they would feel locked up by those sirens because at the end of the day, the New York Knicks were set up for success. You look at Mitchell Robinson and how he's played this season after coming back from injury. He's played in 17 games thus far, averaging 17 minutes per game. In that span, he's averaging 5 points per game with 6 rebounds, getting a block and a steal per game as well, shooting 66% from the field. These numbers have climbed. Obviously, he's coming back off a 10-month layoff because of this injury, and it was a matter of him finding himself again, finding his comfortability on the court, getting his conditioning back. Something that he's still working on to this day. When asked about something he has to fix, he's responded getting tired in 5 minutes. Mitchell Robinson had good conditioning prior, especially compared to a rim running center. So he's trying to get back there, and he's going to, and having this time underway, you're going to be able to play him around 24, 25 minutes per game in the playoffs, which is absolutely excellent for the New York Knicks because you could start him, sub him out at that 6-minute mark, put in Josh Hart, have the rebounding still effective, and then run your starting five that won you 51 games this season. So things will work out for the Knicks on that front. I also think just having the rim protection in your starting lineup is so important. And then once subs start to happen, the rim protection weakens. That'll be fine, especially the Pistons will go a bit smaller. Duren will eventually come out. Isaiah Stewart is going to go in and be the main big man. And those two will play together as well. And it's one of the reasons why the Knicks should play Cat and Mitch together. But all that being said, you look at everything, it would benefit the Knicks. You play Towns for the first 10 minutes of the first quarter. You take him out. You put Mitch back in for a few minutes. Put Towns back in. And then you have Mitch finish out the quarter, something along those lines for your big man situation. You could use Precious Achiuwa if you need him as an in case of emergency break glass guy. So you will have options, and having Josh Hart's great rebounding is going to help there. Mitch last year in the playoffs didn't score the ball really at all. He averaged 3 points per game. And mind you, he did get injured, and he was still playing hurt from that prior injury that he suffered, or that he went down with after the Boston Celtics game back in 2023. But in the 6 games that he played, he averaged 19 minutes per game, was phenomenal against Joel Embiid defensively, and the numbers didn't show it. He was one of the biggest impact players on the Knicks, averaging 3 points and 6 rebounds per game, 6.5 rebounds per game. Mitch was phenomenal. He also blocked a shot per game, and he shot 50% from the field. Though the numbers don't jump out at you, he really was one of the biggest X factors for the Knicks, especially when playing the 76ers, just based off how good Joel Embiid was doing against Isaiah Hartenstein. Having Mitch there changed absolutely everything for the Knicks. So you have to give him credit. He is a playoff performer. He's been good in the playoffs, and the Knicks need him for these playoffs, and I want to see him play with Karl-Anthony Towns. I really do. I think it'd be great. Karl has struggled in the playoffs in the past. He's also had good playoff performances, but he has struggled. It's been a thing about him. He averages around 19 points per game in his 4 playoff appearances. The Knicks are going to want more from that. On top of that, you also look at the rebound game. They're good, 10 rebounds. So averaging 19 and 10 in the playoffs is not bad. The shooting percentage, averaging 35% from 3 if you're Karl-Anthony Towns, is definitely scary. But this is a guy who at one point was averaging 46% from 3 with the Knicks. He averaged 50% from 3 for the first, 15 games of the season. We all know Cat can shoot the ball. It's just a matter of getting him those opportunities to, and the Knicks will definitely work to do so, or at least one would hope so, because they have been shooting a lot less threes than usual this season, which is weird considering the whole 5-out thing that they tried when, they traded for Towns in the first place. All that being said, I am very interested in seeing how Karl-Anthony Towns plays in the playoffs, but we also have someone else to talk about, and that is this man right here, Landry Shamet. Now, Landry Shamet is certainly an interesting New York Knicks player. There was a lot of time where Knicks fans couldn't stand Landry Shamet because he wasn't playing up to par of what Knicks fans wanted, myself included. His start to the season before the All-Star break, averaging 46% from the field, 30% from 3, and like 3 points per game was not going to cut it at all for what Knicks fans expected of Shamet. But he turned it around, and he turned it around in an insane way. And when Tom Thibodeau was asked about how Shamet, basically, just to read off Ian Begley's tweet, Tom Thibodeau was asked about how much Landry Shamet's strong shooting at the end of season factors in to his playoff role. Thibodeau isn't going to tip his hat, read Shamet's role versus Detroit, but he said Shamet is playing great basketball, and Tibbs said everything matters. And he's playing really well. And Shamet has. For the season at this point, Shamet's putting up 6 points per game with 1 rebound and 46% from the field, while shooting 40% from 3 and a whopping 47% on corner threes. Landry Shamet has been nothing short of elite for the New York Knicks, and because of that, where the Knicks are at right now, you just have to absolutely love it. Shamet has been great for the team, and you look at the numbers and they've backed it up. Since March 15th, over the last month, Landry Shamet has averaged 9 points off the bench in 21.5 minutes per game, shooting 42% from 3 and 44% from the field. A lot of those shots are three-pointers. Shooting 5.6 threes per game at that rate. When also you look at his field goals per game at 7.2. Almost all of his shots are threes at this point. The man has been insane from behind the arc, and it only got better. Over his last 10 games, Shamet's averaging 12 points per game in 22.5 minutes, also pulling down 2 rebounds as well, which is nice to see. He's also doing a bit of dirty work, shooting 49% from the field and 49% from 3. Again, you look at the threes and you look at the shot attempts. Field goals attempted, 8.5. Threes attempted, 6.5. Landry Shamet is shooting that thing with confidence, and Tom Thibodeau has to put him into the starting lineup. Or not the starting lineup. They could experiment with it. Some fans want it. but he has to put him into a big role with the Knicks. I mean, you look at a guy like Josh Hart. Josh Hart's been nothing short of phenomenal on the season, but you could sub Landry Shamet in for Hart at points, and your shooting takes a massive jump. Now, last year, Josh Hart did shoot 40% from three in the playoffs, but this season he's shooting 33% on the year. This was a similar thing that happened last year. So if Josh starts shooting 40% from three, the Knicks are going to be fine. They're going to be more than fine. They're going to be really set up. But at points, you can take Josh Hart out for Landry Shamet and run that true 5-out lineup. You could also do the same with Deuce McBride. The Knicks are a little bit more versatile than people are thinking about, and I'm really excited to see how these playoffs turn out. I think the Knicks are going to do really, really well against the Pistons. I think that series is going to end in 5 games. I think most people are pegging it for a 6-7 game series. I don't really see that. I do think the Knicks are going to finish them off in 5 games. So I hope I'm right, because I do want to see the Knicks blow past them and show the Celtics, hey, you got something to worry about. The Celtics are either going to play the Magic or the Hawks, and we're about to find out. I'm looking forward to watching that. Let me know your predictions on that game down below, because that can affect the Knicks, depending on who the Celtics have to play. Can the Magic tire them out more? Can Trae Young and the Hawks mess with them a little bit like they did 3 years ago when they played in the same 2-7 matchup, and the Hawks took them to 6. It'll be interesting to see. Guys, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Have a great day, and go Knicks.